trade, but there is still tons of opportunity in the market. We're going to be talking about my favorite sector or niche in crypto, way to go about crypto, which is airdrops. We're also going to be taking a look at some of your altcoin picks, and some of you are also airdrop hunters as well. So if you have any airdrops or any altcoins that you think are interesting, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments. First and foremost, I'm hearing some of you might not hear me. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Quick mic check. If you can hear me properly, go ahead and I'm hearing that you're having some. All right, testing 1 2 1 2. Just some technical difficulties there earlier. If you can hear me clearly, please drop in the comments if you can hear me. Now it's perfect. Excellent, excellent. All right, so let's peel that back a little bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Coinsider live stream. My name is Josh, and as you can tell, I'm alone today. I'm not here with Kevin. So basically, we're going to be going over my favorite topics today in crypto, which is airdrops. If you are familiar with me, I am an airdrop hunter. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that majority of my content is airdrop tutorials and how to qualify for different airdrops. So I'm really excited to get into today's episode. First and foremost, I'm happy that the mic is now working. Thank you. Thank you. I see in the comments we have sound. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. So first and foremost, as we normally do, we're going to start off looking at Bitcoin and the overall markets really briefly, but then we're going to get into your altcoin picks. And I know some of you out there are also airdrop hunters. So if there's any airdrops on your radar and any altcoins on your radar, be sure you go ahead and drop that in the comments as well. And we're going to be taking a look at the audience picks and doing a live breakdown and analysis. So really excited to get into this one today. First and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at the charts, the Bitcoin price today. So we're going to head over here. As we can see, once again, the all-time high was rejected. We got rejected from that 69.70K level earlier once again. And as Kevin has been doing, he's been shorting to save the markets. Anytime we get to that 69K level, he pops open a short, and that has proven to be actually quite profitable in these current choppy markets. However, I do believe that once this consolidation ends, we are in for a parabolic run, probably a few weeks after the elections. Now, that's just my personal outlook and my personal view. So right now, Bitcoin's sitting at that 62.8 level. And right now is a great time to find different opportunities in the market, such as airdrops, such as positioning yourself with certain altcoins. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So first and foremost, a quick shout out to the Retail DAO. Now, over in Retail DAO, the link is in the description. It's a Discord by Coinsider, and we share all kinds of alpha. We have an amazing community and an amazing team. If you want to look at the airdrops that we're looking at and that we're farming for and information that we're sharing, it's free to join. You can go ahead and hit the link in the description. That is the Retail DAO, and I would highly recommend you get in there and get your alpha as it happens so that you don't have to wait for these live streams every Friday to kind of get a quick overview of what we're looking at. So we can go ahead and get right into it. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and pop over to the Retail DAO. As you see, we have our share and find latest airdrops and alpha here. This is where we go ahead and we share all sorts of different airdrops. Here, for instance, is a mega list of free to farm airdrops. Now, The reason I became an airdrop hunter, as you can see today, I'm actually wearing my Arbitrum shirt, right? Arbitrum was actually the project that really got me into airdrops and airdrop hunting. It was my first major airdrop. And since then, I've been able to get some prominent ones such as Celestia, Dimension, Wormhole, a few of the more prominent ones, Layer Zero. And I keep my ear to the ground every single day for airdrops, because there's airdrops that you may not even know you qualify for, just for being a DeFi user, just for having your wallet interacting with different protocols and in different places. So today we're going to talk about airdrop strategy, how to make sure you're qualifying for airdrops, some of the typical criteria that projects implement into their airdrop criteria, and how you can potentially qualify for some airdrops. And also, we're going to be taking a look at different projects from the community. Now, you might hear a lot that airdrops are now saturated. You know, they're dead. You know, they aren't good anymore. But to be honest with you, there is still tons of opportunity in the airdrop space, and it's just a matter of where to look, how to identify the quality ones, and of course, how to properly qualify and farm for them. So the main theme of this episode here is airdrops, but we're also going to be taking a look at altcoins and analyzing your picks. So be sure you go ahead and drop it in the comments. I can't wait to get into this one. So again, over to Retail DAO, you can see here a list of free airdrops. Now, a lot of my friends who are new to crypto, a lot of my friends who are getting into crypto, and let's say, you know, they may not have a ton of starting capital, airdrops is actually a decent way to build up a portfolio, to have a nice starting bag, a nice starting holding. I remember when I first got the Arbitrum airdrop back in the day, we were in, I guess, the thick of the bear market, and it pretty much saved my portfolio at the time. I was able to get it on 2 wallets, and it can be a great opportunity if you know where to look. So again, heading back over to this list, you can see that it starts here with Grass. Now, Grass is a free to farm airdrop. All you have to do is go ahead and connect your device to their built-in Chrome extension. So we can go ahead and take a look at that. I kind of want to show you in real time so you can see how to do it for yourself. And this right here is the Grass. You can see that it's connected right now. And pretty much I don't have to do anything. So GPT Josh, we can open dashboard. And basically, for sharing some of your bandwidth information, you can go ahead and earn points. What I really like about this one actually is that there already is an open market for it. Whales Market is actually a great place where you can go ahead and trade airdrop points or early airdrop allocations that haven't come out yet. And it's also a great way to identify projects that are actively having an airdrop. So Whales Market is a good place, not only for trading airdrop points and trading different airdrop allocations, but also discovering brand new airdrops. Like for instance, Cult. I'm not aware of what this is, and there's already an open market for it. Even GM, I'm not sure what that is, but there's a market here for grass points. I know some certain farmers are already selling their grass points that they've been farming since the beginning for thousands of dollars. So this is a very good tool that I would recommend you go ahead and take a look at. Eigenlayer was a very popular one, and you can just kind of scroll through and see what is trading in the pre-market. Dogs, that's another one that we went ahead and we were talking about over in the Retail DAO. And as you can see, the moment dogs came out, we went ahead and shared it. You know, who let the dogs out? And these points, these dog tokens are now tradable on the open market once again. So we're starting with Grass because once again, it costs absolutely nothing to go ahead and farm this. And you're essentially earning free money. And see, that's a great opportunity there. Hamster Combat, another one that we were talking about and we were early to. Again, completely free to farm, and you can actually go ahead and sell these tokens before they go live. You don't always have to wait for that TGE, and I find that that is a really cool opportunity. So Whales Market, first stop I would go to see some of the more prominent ones, because as you'll see in the airdrop space, it's quite saturated. There's so many different ones you can sort of get lost in and just go down the airdrop rabbit hole and sort of just, you know, you farm 100 of them and pretty much get none of them. So you want to sort of focus in on the ones that have liquidity, the ones that have raised significant amounts of funding, and the ones that would be most worth your while. And you want to give yourself the best chance at earning a quality airdrop. So I look at things like Whales Market. I get the majority of my information from X and from Twitter. There's different airdrop pages, and we're going to get into some different strategies to always stay ahead of the airdrops that are coming out. So the next thing I really quickly want to do is, if I can pop back in here, if we head over to Twitter, this is probably the #1 way that I have been able to stay on top of all the airdrops. It's a feature over here called lists. I'm not sure if many of you use it, but I go ahead and I have a list here for airdrops. As you can see, 39 members. So pretty much what you want to do is create a list. I called it airdrops, and certain Twitter accounts that are always on top of the latest and best airdrops, I add them to this list. So this curates my timeline to make sure that everything I'm looking at right now is airdrop related. I sometimes come across retroactive airdrops that I was qualified for, but not necessarily farming directly. That's happened many times with different airdrops. It's what's happened with Celestia, and it's what's happened with a few different airdrops. So again, we had that mega list early on. I'm going to go over a few of the ones that I'm currently looking at, that I'm awaiting TGE for, that I'm just farming passively. But we're also going to take a look at what the community is looking at and what you guys are looking at as well. So we're going to actually go ahead and take some of the community questions here. We're going to pop into the comments. Someone says, I heard about grass too. Didn't know you were farming for it. It is super popular. Yeah, so when you see sometimes a lot of users, it could be a turnoff for saturation, but things like grass, again, like I alluded to, there's already an open market for. So that's value in of itself. And you can farm this on multiple devices. Now, if you have an extra laptop laying around, if you have, a few extra devices laying around, you can connect all of them and be earning grass points more aggressively. If you use things like a VPS, you can actually have multiple servers farming for the grass airdrop, tradable on the open market. And let's go ahead and take a look here. Yeah, there are definitely way too many airdrops to be able to find the most worthwhile ones to spend time on. So this info is really helpful. Absolutely. I really can't stress enough, especially for the new users. Maybe you don't have a ton of liquidity. Airdrop farming could be the way to actually bolster your portfolio and prepare yourself for the aggressive part of the bull run. Dimension airdrop was quite lucrative. Again, that was one that was essentially completely for free because I got the Celestia airdrop, staked my Celestia on a few wallets, and got the Dimension airdrop worth upwards of $30,000 altogether. And just a complete game changer for me in my portfolio. So let's go ahead and take a look. Josh, will the early epoch farmers get a larger airdrop? I can't necessarily tell you that. I'm not on the team myself, but just like with anything, the earlier you are, the better. Same way with airdrop farming, same way with airdrop hunting. Someone said they farmed 30K in Epoch 4. That's pretty nice. 30K is quite solid. And again, you can sell that on the open market. This is great info. We want to know more about this. Absolutely. So I would say airdrop hunting is my specialty. It's what I focus on most. And I can't wait to share more and more with you guys. And hopefully we can go ahead and qualify for all the best airdrops together. And I'll show you some of the ones I'm keen on the most. Another way, similar to Whales Market, similar to having a very solid list, like I showed you earlier on Twitter, is also to use strong bridges. Now, let me just tell you why real quick. We're going to head over here to Orbiter Finance. Orbiter, now they're having an airdrop themselves for using their bridge. However, much of the community is a little bit disgruntled, saying the team is farming their users with this point system. But what I see is that, to be honest, they're making a ton of fees. They're bolstering their valuation. And when they do have that TGE at the end of the year, it could be worthwhile. But it's not only for that. This bridge probably has the most amount of routes, and they support a lot of these new upcoming chains. And through that, I was actually able to discover many other airdrops within Orbiter while farming for Orbiter itself, which is pretty cool. So Optopia, there was a few different ones. You can see there's Bitcoin layer 2s and there's Ethereum layer 2s. So it's actually a great way to discover brand new chains that come out and don't have a token. It's a high likelihood that eventually they will be having an airdrop. And if you go over to their point system right here, you can see that they actually will go ahead and promote ongoing airdrop campaigns from different chains and from different projects. Some of them more prominent, some of them not as big, but you can go ahead and do more research as you see ones that might interest you or on a chain that you really like. So I like using things like Orbiter to actually go ahead not only farm for their airdrop, but discover new ones, do due diligence on the ones I like. As you can see, 200K ZK giveaway, I would have never known had I not been on their quest page here. So this is another one I really like. As you can see, I've been farming this one for quite a while. You can see your ranking here. So I'm ranked out of 4 million users. I'm ranked number 2,000, again, just from being an airdrop farmer and staying on top of this. So again, I recommend you check out different bridges. Orbiter is probably the one I use the most. And that's another way I've been able to discover a lot of quality airdrops. Now, criteria among airdrops changes often. I can go ahead and hide that comment. Criteria around airdrops changes often. It depends on the type of project, but for the most part, depending on the type of project you're looking at, it's very similar. For instance, the amount of transactions you've had, how much funds you've bridged over to the chain using their native bridge. A lot of the time, it will be the native bridge that they're looking for. And different transactions over a period of time. How long have you been using the project? How long have you been using the chain? And these criteria basically will determine how big of an allocation you will get at the time of TGE. So we can go ahead and continue on. Bluezilla launch pads. I've actually, funny enough, I've been in a few of the pre-sales last bull run, and they've done decently well. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other ones here. All right. Why is crypto crashing? As you can see, I'm not sure if you were paying attention. Yesterday, the NASDAQ was actually, I think it was down close to 5%. So to be honest, I actually think that Bitcoin and crypto is showing relative strength in comparison to how the macro markets currently are and different things going on in the world. I think that this is a good sign. And I think that once this consolidation ends, we are in for a move to the upside. And as I mentioned, the relative strength, like when everything is down, seeing how Bitcoin is performing, it's actually holding up quite well, gets me bullish and gets me excited. For the most part, I'm neutral right now. But it's a great time to go ahead and do things like airdrop hunting and positioning yourself with different altcoins. All right, moving right along, we have Vinayak. He says, Josh, what's your most bullish alt? That's a very loaded question. I spread my bags across a few different sectors and a few different niches. I try to practice barbell strategy. I'm not that strict with my barbell strategy, but my most bullish alt, if I was to choose one, I guess it's a pretty boring pick. I got to go with Ethereum, because to me, it's the godfather of altcoins, the godfather of crypto. We have the ETF going live right now, and all sorts of stuff. So I got to say Ethereum for the most part. And yeah, so again, any alts you guys have in mind, go ahead and just drop that into the comments, and we'll go ahead and continue on. All right, pardon a little slight delay. We're back online. All right, and On-Chain Alpha says, how do you sell your airdrop coins after TGE? What is the strategy? Now, that's a very good question. And this all comes down basically to the project. Every project is different, right? Some airdrops, I would actually dump the whole thing right away because you do sometimes have an airdrop dump. Like a certain amount of users just got free tokens. Chances are a few of them are going to want to take profits right away or cash out on their airdrop farming efforts. but it depends on the project. Like projects like Celestia, I didn't actually sell my airdrop at all. I just staked my Celestia, which led to more airdrops, right? So different airdrops across different ecosystems perform a little bit differently. For instance, Cosmos, that's actually where I've probably gotten the majority of my airdrops. And Cosmos, I like a lot because for just staking your tokens via Kepler or Leap, that actually qualifies you for many airdrops depending on which token you are staking. For instance, Atom, the OG Cosmos token, stakers all received the Juno airdrop, the Osmo airdrop, Celestia airdrop, Dimension. There's just a multitude, which over a span of time uh, has proven to be very, very profitable. So it just depends on which ecosystem you're looking at. Sometimes I'll stake the airdrop, sometimes I'll sell half. It just really all depends. And then someone said, yeah, but if you stake your W or Pyth, I can't lie, W, that was a little bit of a disappointing one. I got the wormhole airdrop, and many users are staking the W airdrop in anticipation and hopes for the Monad airdrop because they've teased and hinted at a few different that might be a criteria for the Monad airdrop. W price performance hasn't been too great, but again, this was a free airdrop, so you really can't complain. I used the wormhole bridge natively and was able to qualify for the airdrop across 3 wallets, and it was actually proven to be one of my best airdrops I've gotten in quite a while. So 2 of the wallets, I sold all of it. One of the wallets I went ahead and staked, and that's pretty much how it has been. Someone said thoughts on Drift Protocol and Marinade Finance. The Solana airdrops have also been crazy. Unfortunately, I missed out on the Jito airdrop, but Solana airdrops have a way of actually sometimes delivering really big. So Drift, Marinade, 2 projects I really like. Marinade is probably one of the leaders in Solana LSTs, right? So I like that. I like that project quite a lot. Which one will see the most group, Jupe or Arrow? Arrow I like quite a lot. Jupiter I like quite a lot. It's an exchange with a lot of great features. You can do, limit orders. You can snipe. You can do all sorts of things. I've always loved the Jupiter exchange. Arrow is a very, very strong, very, very strong just DEX ecosystem. And of course, on the base ecosystem, which I see a lot of long-term growth for, I like it. And we have someone talking about Ton here. Someone posted that 100 gaming studios were looking into building on the Ton ecosystem because it has so many active users. What are my thoughts on Ton because of that? I actually like the Ton ecosystem quite a lot because they have those apps directly built into Telegram. Those are really taking off. You, of course, with the tap to earns, that's another airdrop ecosystem we're going to get into in a little bit here. But I'm bullish on Ton. I like what they're doing with the integrated apps, and I think it is quite cool. So looking into Ton and not the mini games or Bitcoin ecosystem for airdrops, quite honestly, I haven't been too active or too involved in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I know Ton has just had insane amounts of growth. I would look for new opportunities. With new ecosystems like that comes new opportunities. But of course, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I just haven't gotten too deep into Bitcoin DeFi. And thoughts on Seamless Protocol. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at that together because I'm not aware of Seamless Protocol. So let's go and check Twitter for that. All right. Hope I have to reshare my screen really quickly. Just bear with me here. All right. So Seamless Protocol. Build on Base, 80K followers. Seamless Protocol is the first base native decentralized lending and borrowing protocol. Let's go ahead and see some of their links and take a closer look together. So lending and borrowing, that's a very, very, very popular sort of type of protocol. There's tons of them. Of course, the OG being Aave, and pretty much just tons of different, I guess, forks of Aave. They're trying to be the base lending and borrowing platform. Right off the rip, I mean, I'm sure it's decently solid, but off the rip, that's not something that gets me too excited. Again, just because there's so many other players doing that. But I mean, it could be worth a look. Maybe they're having an airdrop. and it could be worth a look. Let's see. A ton of hype. Why Pixelverse? Why Pixelverse has such a large user base when they have such bad gameplay and graphics? I haven't been farming. Pixelverse. Kevin isn't here. I know he might be a little bit more into it. So if you join the retail dial, you can ask Kevin directly. Why are so many influencers recommending to sell Arbitrum? Is it that bad? I've always loved Arbitrum. I think it's a great chain. I don't think it's that bad. I know there was a little bit of controversy with governance early on and a few different things, but overall, I love the Arbitrum chain. I think it's here to stay. And yeah, I'm not bearish on Arbitrum at all. Would you rather sell your airdrop as soon as you get it or hold it and sell it when the market tops? Again, it depends on which airdrop it is that we're looking at, which one is in consideration. Celestia as a project, I really fell in love with. Of course, the data availability, the modularity narrative, that's something, I would hold on to, and I think hasn't had its true season yet. And you're seeing different competitors come up. It's just all depends on the narrative that it's around, and it depends on the project itself. Yeah, so cool. We can actually go ahead and get back into the airdrops that I am looking at. So we started with Grass. We looked at Orbiter as well. Another really good one, in my opinion, will be, let's actually pop back over to Twitter real quick, is going to be Rabby. And the reason I like the Rabby airdrop a lot, and I think it's worth looking into for you guys, is because, first of all, the Rabby wallet is just a very, very robust and clean wallet. I'll say I like it a lot more than even MetaMask and even BitGet wallet. So you can actually go ahead and use the Rabby wallet natively as you normally would, as just do your transactions as you normally would, and actually get points towards their airdrop. So that's airdrops like that where you can just use your wallet sort of in a genuine fashion rather than actively trying to farm and spending fees here and there. I like airdrops like that because you just go ahead and just do what you normally would, and you could potentially get rewarded for it. You can see the amount of chains that they are integrated with. They're integrated with the Bitcoin ecosystem. You just have so much that you can do on there. And Rabby is another one that's pretty high on my list. Another potential airdrop we could be looking at coming decently soon would be DBank. So DBank actually probably one of my most anticipated ones, I would say. Just the whole ecosystem is actually very strong. The user base very strong, community very strong, and there's just so much that you can do with it. They have their points program, you can earn XP, and they also have a referral program if you want to go ahead and farm DBank. Similar to Grass, there is also Rivals AI. Now, Rivals AI is built on Dimension, and they also use Celestia's technology. Airdrops within that ecosystem, for me, have been decently strong. Of course, Dimension being the strongest, deriving from Celestia. This is underneath the same ecosystem. Rivals is a DePIN AI-focused project. Similar to Grass, you can go ahead and actually have a node passively earning you these airdrop points that go towards the Rivals AI airdrop. This is another one I've been farming for quite a bit. They have a few different things you can do. The reason I'm showing you these certain airdrops is because I want to avoid actually spending a ton of fees and a ton of different, transaction fees and gas fees to go ahead and chase an airdrop, quote unquote chase. You don't want to chase airdrops. You want to actually give yourself an edge to the most that you can. For instance, Grass, you're not spending any gas, you're not spending anything, and you can literally take these points and sell them even before the airdrop goes live. I think there's just something really powerful in that. And if you can bolster your farming, you can actually stand to earn a pretty handsome profit. So let's take a look at some more community questions. Let's see, Rabby Wallet. So is Rabby still worth farming, getting points? I guess that's really all up to you. I'm not sure how much, size. I guess, just like in anything, size does matter a lot of the time. So if you are using your wallet And even if you're not farming with a ton of size, you can actually go ahead and earn by just doing transactions you normally would, just using the Rabby wallet rather than another wallet, which is already a really good wallet. So I think it's still worth it, just on the fact that you don't have to necessarily do anything you wouldn't already do, right? If that makes sense. All right. Symbiotic versus Cook versus Fuel in the ETH staking category for airdrops. Which one are you looking at? Now, Fuel, if I'm not mistaken, if you're talking about the same Fuel that I'm already aware of, that I'm looking at, I actually have a Fuel wallet right here, I believe. Yep. And Fuel, reason I like Fuel quite a lot is actually, let's go, yeah, Fuel Network. Actually, the Fuel team is actually derived by the same team that made Celestia. Now, if you got the Celestia airdrop, you know sort of how they deliver airdrops. You know, they deliver quite sizable airdrops. They make a big splash. And a lot of the time when you're farming for airdrops, you kind of want to stay around similar VCs. I look at the VCs, I look at the teams, right? The likelihood of them doing an airdrop, the likelihood of them doing a sizable airdrop, a lot of the time will sort of, you can follow the money trail, follow the crumbs, right? So the fact that this is actually the same team as Celestia actually has me excited, and a few different things like that. But as for the tech itself, I'm quite bullish on Fuel, and I think it could be one that's worthwhile. I will note that people have been farming Fuel for probably close to towards a year at this point. It's been quite a while that Fuel has been sort of, in the airdrop farming sort of community as like a project to look out for. But I think it can be worthwhile. And they've already had multiple testnet rounds. So just know that you're not early, but I mean, it's not, TGE hasn't happened yet. So you're not necessarily late either. Can it be the Luna of this cycle? Someone says, what is your Twitter handle? So you can actually go ahead and see right here, GPT Josh. As you can see, I have one that's just for farming. I don't want to spam the you never want to spam your timeline. So having a separate farming wallet and farming account, I believe, is a good thing to do. That way you sort of separate your farming efforts and your farming positions from your main wallet, like your ETH, your Bitcoin, your Ethereum. I like to keep my wallets organized. So I'll actually go ahead and have a separate farming wallet. But if you want to go ahead and follow me, I am pretty much covering airdrops, everything airdrops. So GPT Joshua is my Twitter. And yeah. Let's go ahead and pop over here. So yeah, as you can see, airdrops, we talk lava, we talk, I was farming for, Celestia Dimension before they happen. But even more importantly, I would recommend joining the Retail Investors DAO, because you can go ahead and see airdrops as we're farming them, what everyone's looking at, Celestine Sloth NFT, different strategies to actually be qualified for these different airdrops. So I would highly recommend joining the Retail Investors DAO. Let's head back over and see some community questions. What are your thoughts about inconsistencies in Sol chain numbers like inflated TVL, fake TPS? Can it be the Luna of this cycle? I did see a tweet yesterday. I will try and pull it up here. I'm going to try and pull it up here, that there was actually contagion, or there was insiders from FTX that still had a huge allocation to Sol, something like 8 billion in selling pressure. Every so often you get these potential black swan events or FUD. Until there's more information, I wouldn't be so quick to say statements like that. But of course, we're staying tuned to see what happens. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, just zoomed in there. Hold on one moment. Let's see. Do I think altcoins will crash again? Quite honestly, altcoins, of course, are the most volatile assets when it comes to crypto. Obviously, they move more aggressively when Bitcoin goes up. They crash more aggressively when Bitcoin and Ethereum go down. I think we can definitely still see a crash. That's never out of the cards. Alts are very volatile, and I wouldn't say necessarily that the bottom is in, or we've seen the worst that can happen. But yeah, so you always want to just be practice barbell strategy, have a good balance in your portfolio. So let's go ahead and see some of these community questions. Opinion on BWB. It's a BitGet wallet token, and token unlock is next year. BWB, I like BitGet overall as an exchange. I've used the BitGet wallet before. That's not an airdrop that I'm actively farming for, but I mean, I think it does have the potential to cook. It's just not one that's potentially high up on my list. I do have some BWB points, but it's not one that I am potentially like, for instance, just farming heavily. Thoughts on Forda? We can go ahead and take a look at that together. Forda network. I haven't heard of this one. It says AI-powered threat detection and prevention for blockchains and applications. Sounds useful. Forda network. AI-powered threat detection. Are they potentially having an airdrop campaign? Or if you know, go ahead and drop that in the comment. But I'm not sure if they have a token live yet. Wallets, Web3 wallets can use scam detector to screen pre-signed transactions and protect users from scams. I believe a lot of wallets are starting to integrate built-in security and built-in sort of notifications for potential malicious transactions, which is good to see. But it seems they're focused on security. It says security and compliance companies. Security and compliance teams can supplement their existing data with the scam detector, staying up to date on the latest threats. Bridges and protocols. Of course, there's been some terrible bridge hacks in the past. So they claim here that they can help use the attack detector and tailor-made bots to detect potential exploits as early as possible and react before any funds are drained or exploited. Honestly, sounds very useful. It seems they have, I'm not sure if they've raised, yep, I guess you can see exploits that they've detected and I guess protected protocols and users from, which is great to see. You can participate in the network by staking and delegating Fort. Okay, so the token is live already. We can actually go ahead and take a look. Let's head over to, we can just go over here, CoinMarketCap. Fort. Let's take a look at their market cap. All right, fully diluted of 147 million. And the circulating market cap, current market cap, 62 million. Not bad. Circulating supply, 42%. That's not usually something I like to see as far as unlock schedule. So you know that there's going to be some VCs or early investors and early users or early seed round participants who are going to be getting tokens, which can potentially be offloaded onto the market. So there's going to have to be a lot of buy pressure to sort of withstand that. It seems they've been out for a while. They've been out since 2022. I don't know if this was a new project, but interesting. I personally would not ape in, but Fort seemed interesting. Thank you for sharing, Adam. Can you please analyze Eclipse? Oh yeah, he mentioned Fort is already listed on Coinbase, Binance, Bybit, BitGet, KuCoin. Cool. I love, security is a very important topic in crypto. So I like what they're built around. But again, the float, I guess, is 42%. Not bad, but I wouldn't be looking to get in. Eclipse, let's go ahead and take a look. Solana on Ethereum. Ethereum's first SVM layer 2. So I guess Solana virtual machine layer 2. Very interesting. A few of my trusted Twitter accounts that I follow are following it, which is always a good sign. Guys, usually anytime I'm looking at a new project, you want to make sure it's legit. A nice quick way of getting some credibility is just having accounts that you follow, seeing that they follow them. That's sort of like a first check mark for me when I'm looking at new projects. So then I'll go ahead and take a look further. So Eclipse is Solana on Ethereum, Ethereum's first SVM layer 2. They claim to be Ethereum's fastest layer 2. That's quite interesting. I kind of want to see exactly how they integrate with Solana. So Solana Speed, the most performant battle-tested execution environment in crypto with high TPS production system, plus Ethereum's liquidity. I do like that sort of value proposition. Solana Speed with Ethereum's, deep liquidity. That's a pretty cool, pretty interesting value proposition. I'm not sure exactly how it functions, but let's take a look. Already, I like the view and the approach that they're taking. Eclipse Network is an Ethereum layer 2, combines the best of ETH and Sol, as they said. It's where most performant execution environments meet unparalleled liquidity. Interesting. It says start building. Not sure exactly what that is going to be. Takes you to their docs. Interesting. Well, if you want to take a look at Eclipse, you can read this further. We're not going to go through their whole white paper here together, but definitely like the approach here that they're doing, mixing Ethereum and Solana. So Eclipse. I definitely would take a further look into this, and this is something that I would be interested in. I'm not sure how early they are right now, or if there is an Eclipse token. We can just quickly check for that. Eclipse. I'm surprised I haven't heard of this already, to be honest. Yeah, I know Eclipse, that's different. Yeah, I'm not sure. Eclipse Foundation, no. All right, interesting. So yeah, I will be taking a further look into Eclipse. Thank you for sharing. Definitely looks like an interesting idea. Let's pop that down. All right. Can you look at Suku? Let's go ahead and take a look at Suku together. So ticker Suku. I guess that's from Suku World. Again, I see some of my trusted accounts that I following them, so I know it is at least worth a skim, worth a quick look. SukuPay allows anyone to send and receive money globally through phone numbers with no apps and no setups. Interesting. And quickly, if you can tell me, is the Suku token already live, or is this something that is maybe like an ongoing thing where you can earn an airdrop? I'm not sure. But let's take a look at their actual sites really quickly. So I guess you just go ahead. I'm not going to log in with my phone number live on the stream. However, that does seem quite interesting. I wonder how the process is of when you actually receive the money just by sending it to somebody's phone number. Will they have to set up a wallet? Will it somehow, is there just a link where they deposit somewhere? It seems quite interesting. Let's see, Suku World. Maybe we can get more information here. Okay, let's see. International money transfers, phone to phone, a wallet for every phone number. Okay, so it seems it makes a wallet attached to your number, a decentralized digital wallet that allows national and international transfers between phone numbers. Interesting. No IBANs, SWIFTs, or bank accounts. Send and receive money at a low cost anywhere in the world in seconds. Again, great value proposition. I like any project that is, fixing a problem, making life just a little bit easier. If it works as seamlessly as they are advertising it to, then I think this is definitely something that can be of value, definitely solves a problem. And yeah, I'm going to be taking a deeper look into it. You just log in with your phone, top up your wallet with any available payment method, and choose the recipient's phone number. They receive a text with a link. Click on the link to see your wallet balance. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And it's a good, simple idea that can work. If it works as seamlessly as it does, again, cool project. Now let's take a look at this one here. So let's look at TIE. It's a Solana backed and it's already live with a low market cap. And most of the token unlocks are in Q4 of 2025. So TIE. Not TIE code. Maybe we can go. If you guys don't mind, when you share projects, if you can drop the ticker and the full name, that way I can go ahead and it's just a little bit easier to find. I'm sure there's different tickers that might have that same sort of that same ticker. So I'm not sure if it's this one, Tars AI. Maybe that's what he means. Yeah, on Solana, he mentioned Solana, backed by Solana. So this must be it. Tars AI, Tars protocol, AI infrastructure, Web3 powered by GPT-4. So I'm not sure if this is a deep in project. Let's go ahead and look a little bit further. Solana's AI infrastructure. TARS is an AI infrastructure capable of training AI models, monetizing data, and providing access to powerful GPUs. It is an advanced ecosystem of modular AI applications backed by the Solana Foundation themselves. I think it's cool that Solana themselves actually went ahead and put their money behind this. That alone, in my opinion, speaks volumes. The fact that Solana themselves are willing to go ahead and back this and put their name on it, saying, "Hey, this is worth taking a look at." Anytime you see that, I see that's definitely a strong point. Obviously the Solana ecosystem is the Solana Foundation rather very experienced, and they wouldn't just back any project. So that being said, definitely we'll take a closer look into this one. So you can go ahead and train AI models in minutes with a fraction of the cost. TAI is the AI layer for all Solana applications. TAI tokens are staked to create GPUs, and these unlock rewards on the Solana chain. An AI hub for unique tools for data monetization, advanced token utilities, and mining. Let's actually go ahead and see if we can just use it and try out the app and see how that works. So I have to sign in with Google really quickly. Let's go ahead and do this. So yeah, that's quite interesting in my opinion. Anytime you see Solana or even Arbitrum Foundation, these whole entire companies behind these chains back a project, I think that's something that's interesting. So let's go ahead and check it out together. I got into the app here. How can I help you today? Give TARS a task to work and earn points. Let's just see how quick it works. Let's just click one of these built-in ones, see how long it takes, etc. We'll let that load up. All right, TARS, let's see the magic. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and actually look at the price of the TAI token. TARS AI. So low market cap, backed by Solana, AI narrative. That's a pretty good token to look at. Thank you for sharing. And as you can see here, let's go ahead and take a look at the circulating supply is 100 million, 124 million TAI out of almost 1 billion TAI. So, I mean, again, it's a low float, it looks like, decently low float. Not bad, honestly. And especially with, someone like Solana as the backer, I think that's not terrible. But that market cap to FDV ratio, the closer you see market cap to FDV, the less hidden sell pressure is embedded into the token via VC unlocks and so forth. So hopefully the product is so good that it sort of mitigates that. I don't know. It's still taking 1 minute and it hasn't done the prompt, and it's one of their built-in prompts. So I guess maybe that's just something that they're still working on, or maybe I have to have it staked. But again, thank you for sharing. This is a cool project, and the fact that it's backed by Solana, very cool. So let's move on to the next one. It's live on Coinbase and others. Cool. Can you look at Tapioca DAO? Let's take a look at Tapioca DAO together. I've actually heard of it. Didn't look too deep into it. I see a few, again, accounts that I trust. Omni Dollar ecosystem powered by Layer Zero. Speaking of Layer Zero, another airdrop that we were able to get earlier on this year, just a few months ago. Interoperability. Let's look at Tapioca. So yeah, anytime you see the Layer Zero and stuff like that, it has something to do with interoperability. You see this something like Omnichain. Honestly, Wormhole and Layer Zero price performance has been disappointing, but I am still very bullish on interoperability because we have so many different blockchains, an endless amount of blockchains. I believe that interoperability still has the potential to become one of the strongest standards because it just connects everything. And I believe that eventually everything is just going to be just well connected, well integrated. So interoperability is something I definitely keep an eye on. cool website. Sometimes these websites are a little bit annoying to scroll through. Omni Dollar. USDO is the first decentralized stablecoin that can travel everywhere you go in our multi-chain world. No fees, no slippers, no wait times. USDO is an over-collateralized CDP stablecoin backed by decentralized gas tokens and liquid staking tokens. Interesting. Powered by Layer Zero. And I guess the token is live. We can go back over here. Let's see, tap. Is that the same? There we go. Tapioca DAO. I've heard of Tapioca. Just didn't do too much DD in on it. So maybe we can find something interesting about it today together. Let's see how the token is doing. Down 6% on the day, down 22% on the week, and up only 74%, I guess, since they've at least been live on CoinMarketCap. Again, first thing I like to look at, FDV 275M versus their market cap at 20M. Again, I like to see these numbers be a lot closer together. Tap team needs to deliver product soon. This Tapioca will make DeFi great again. Well, interesting. We won't spend too much time on it. We want to get to more of these projects. But again, thank you for sharing Tapioca. I've heard of it. I don't like the FDV to market cap ratio. I want to see more and more projects, sort of have a better float to market cap ratio. Someone says there are too many AI coins. AI narrative is definitely getting very, very saturated in ways, but I still believe AI is, the technology of the future, and the winners in it will do parabolic numbers, the winners in the AI narrative. So let's see. Yes, you need to be very selective with those AI coins, mostly basically meme coins, essentially. Pretty much, that's a good point. Like, there's just so many of them, right? So there's few and far between. I like to go ahead and choose the winners. Anytime I'm looking at different sectors and different niches within crypto, a lot of the time the winners win. So you kind of want to identify the strongest ones and see what they're doing, and you kind of get a sense for what makes it strong, and you can find that in different ones. That one backed by Solana Foundation is kind of a strong endorsement. Exactly, that's what I was kind of alluding to. Anytime you're seeing that, it's a good sign. It's becoming blockchain fractals, Bubble Tea DAO. We'll look at Bubble Tea quickly. AIT, I believe Kevin and I actually broke down AIT 2 or 3 episodes ago. So for anyone wanting to look at AIT, you can go back and watch that. But let's go ahead and take a look at Bubble Tea DAO. That's funny. I like the name. Let's go ahead and take a look. Maybe something will just pop up if we do this. Bubble Tea DAO. Can't really find anything on Bubble Tea. And if this is the project, we're not gonna look too deep in this. If this is the project, maybe nah, I don't think. If that's the project you were thinking of, I'm not sure that was the one, or I'm not sure if that's your. Oh, they meant Tapioca Bubble Tea. Okay, yeah, we took a look at Tapioca. Polyswarm NCT crowdsourced threat detection. So I guess that's similar to the security project we were looking at, crowdsourced. We are running down on time, but we're going to try and get through these last couple ones really quickly. Not a real project, he was joking. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Polyswarm. Pop over here. A threat intelligence and detection community helping security teams detect new and emerging malware. So I guess community-driven threat detection and security. Interesting. Scan files, URLs for threats. It's always good to stay safe. You can never be too cautious in crypto, honestly. I've seen the worst happen. I myself have been, rugged many times for a lot of funds and a whole bunch of different things. So definitely you want to make sure you're standing on top of your security and crossing all your T's, dotting your I's. So protocols like this are great to look at, bubble maps, a whole bunch of different things to make sure you're staying safe in crypto and you're not just aping into, random things that can be a threat to your money. So that's a very important thing. We won't look too deep. I guess they have a token as well. Let me see. What was the name of that token? NCT. NCT. Polyswarm. All right. Down 2% on the day, like most alts, down 10% on the week, down 8% on the month. Been trading pretty stable. Let's see. FDV, 28 million. That's definitely a low cap. And market cap 23 million. Finally. Okay. Finally. You see, you want to see FDV and market cap close together. You know that there's no shady VCs that could potentially rug you one day, which is what I like to see. Low float. So I'll go ahead, high float. I'll go ahead and, you can see 82% is in circulation. That's a healthy number. And the downside risk is minimized from VCs that didn't necessarily buy on the liquid open market. So that's already something I like to see. So then if you go ahead and do your DD on Polyswarm and you're bullish on it, I'll feel better about aping in when I see this FDV to market cap. Can't stress it enough because, again, security, and you just want to make sure you're giving yourself as much of an edge as possible when you're trading in crypto. So let's go ahead and look at these last few ones. Privacy projects don't tend to do very well, and I agree. No worries. When is the Genesis voting? So you actually want to go ahead. This is perfect because we can probably be close to wrapping it up soon. So when is the Genesis voting? You want to go ahead and stay tuned to the Retail DAO Discord server. One more time, it's in the description below. And all the updates and all the up-to-the-minute progressions on the DAO will be posted in that Discord. If you're hearing it on here, something's probably already happened. So you want to be, if you want to be up to date, just go ahead and join the server completely free. And thank you so much for looking. No problem, Carrie. Can't wait to do this again. And next episode, we're going to be looking at some pretty exciting things. There's some TGEs that are coming up. We're going to look at some airdrops that the retail DAO, airdrops that were posted in the retail DAO that should be coming out. We're going to be analyzing together because these are some things that the whole community potentially was able to get in on. And I'm really excited to do more things like that and to qualify along with the community. So we can't wait. And great stream. Thank you very much. Great host. I really appreciate the love. My very first stream without Kevin. And I can't wait to do more of them. Once again, you can catch me, you can catch Kevin and the rest of the team over in the Retail DAO. Be sure you subscribe and like. It really helps the channel out. And I will see you next Friday. Take care, guys.